I'm gonna walk in all fancy so you guys can see my pants. I like them. Hello! Hello, welcome back to DaPoddy. I am your host, Angela Aquera, and I'm so grateful to have you here today because so much shit has happened once again. Life is moving at a fast pace. In this wild experience of van life and going to festivals and checking out cool nature spots, a lot of things happen often. I just got back from another festival, and there's a lot of cool things that happened before then as well that I would love to get into. A very different thing. It was like a very beautiful healing experience with nature that also happened before I went. And then also going to the festival and doing a bunch of drugs and trying new ones that I haven't done a whole lot of before. So, starting out, last week, or the week before, I went to, and I kind of have resistance towards sharing the specific locations because I very much so dislike when people post about really cool spots online, and a lot of people find out about them, and it's super awesome. It's how I found out about a lot of cool spots as well, but it can make them get overpopulated and draw people who aren't there for the right reasons and are just going because some location got popular on TikTok and they want to be cool and go there and take cool selfies, and they disrespect the land. So it's like spots that a lot of us know about, but I don't want to bring extra attention to them. But I sat on it for a little bit, and I feel like I'll just share and I'll be authentic to where the location was just because people know about it. It's not a secret, but yeah, I feel like my experience can bring people to it that are seeking the right things. So last week or the week before, I came to Ashland to visit my friend, and it started to get very hot, and I didn't want to be in a very hot climate with no promises of showers to be had. So I wanted to escape, and I was just going to go to the coast because it's just cooler by the coast and the ocean's there and it's beautiful and whatever. But I was just kind of like, I don't know if I feel like doing that. And then I remember my friend sending me this pin for a national park. And I was like, okay, it's in the mountains. I'll just go there and check it out because he was like, check it out. And it's not that far from here. So I went to Crater Lake National Park, and I decided that night that I was just going to drive closer to it so I can sleep in a cooler temperature because it was already getting pretty warm that night. And I wanted to have a comfortable sleep and to be able to sleep in because I'm a sleeping in slut. So yeah, I just sent it and I started driving there, found a location on Overlander to find a chill spot kind of near the park, but not super close, just to sleep for the night, and therefore had no service. So I didn't even have service to find directions to the national park. I was just like, I'm going to go kind of near the national park. I'm going to find my way there and just going to check it out. And I was just trying to have a chill day. I was like, I don't want to do all that hiking stuff. I just want to go somewhere cool and pretty and just stare at it and be in my car. And it turns out Crater Lake National Park is the perfect place for that because it's just like a drive around a lake and you stop at certain points and stare at it because it's pretty. So that ended up being the perfect thing for me to do that day. And so I went there and I didn't know anything about it, and I started to learn about it as I was there and why the lake is there. And it ended up being such a cool story to me and like fucking sick. It's not just a lake. It's a very pretty lake, and it's very blue, and it's very, very just beautiful, and there's mountains all around it and whatever, but the story of it feels like so dope to me because it used to be like around a 12,000 foot mountain volcano thing that exploded so hard it collapsed in on itself. She went a little too hard. She was like, I'm fucking done. Bye, guys. And so everything shot out, but then there's a lot of things that fell into the magma chamber that used to be in the volcano. And so other eruptions happened and it sealed the floor, and then all snow melt and rain would go into this crater and eventually formed the lake, the Crater Lake, and has nothing else running into it, just pure snow melt and rainwater, which is beautiful and miraculous. And it has two volcanoes. There's one that's a little island, and then there's one underneath the water. And it's the deepest lake in the United States. And so here's just your factual story on Crater Lake. However, we're going to get to the part that like became insane for me. So I was just like, that's cool. It looks so pretty. I wish I could swim in it. I'm not sure if I can. I feel like I probably can't. And then I was driving and I found a trail that goes down there. And I also needed a shower. So I was just like, not going to shower in it, but like rinse off and just, be clean. So I found a trail and I was like, oh my God, like there's people who are in bathing suits. Like you can bathe here. And so I like went down the strenuous trail that is super steep to get to the lake. And I hopped in. I rinsed off because I was kind of sweaty and whatever, and I just was swimming in it, and the water felt so beautiful and amazing just to be like, oh my God, the whole story about the place, it's so potent, it's so alive, like a fucking volcano underneath the water, and it's super deep, like super fucking deep, damn near 2,000 feet, and it used to be a huge mountain that took so many years to form and fucking exploded itself within hours or a day. So it has such potent energy in it. And I was swimming in it and I didn't think like a whole lot of it. I like swam out to the part like a little bit deeper where it was just pure blue, and I was in my mermaid era. My hair was like floating in the water and I just was like feeling like a mermaid. I had such a good time. I would like swim out into the deep end, come back to the shore, swim out to like the deep to look at the blue and come back. And then by the time I came out, I was like crawling out of the water and I felt high. I was like, whoa, that just did something to me. Like, holy shit, what the fuck? So yeah, I just came back to shore and I was just like kind of integrating that experience. I felt like it changed something in me, and your skin is the biggest organ on your body, and it takes like 8 seconds for something to soak in and get into your bloodstream. That's why shower filters and things like that are very important, that like, obviously I'm not like that crazy on anymore because I am only just taking a shower wherever I can. But it takes that long and that quick for water to get into your skin and into your bloodstream, and it felt like very powerful messages were just in my skin. And then I got back to shore, and then all of a sudden I was just looking around. I was like, wow, it like unlocked something in me, and I just all of a sudden became super deeply connected to the land, and I started to cry. It was so beautiful. Like, I'm so grateful for this lake, for allowing this time period of us to be able to swim in it. And it feels like such a finite amount of time for us to be able to do this. I feel like for many years, people haven't been able to get down because it's so strenuous and steep. And there's now a trail that leads you down there, but I feel like it's a matter of time before she like has all the boulders and stuff like coming down for it to like just end. Like, she feels very alive, and like if she's done with something, she's gonna like erase the trail and like stop having people go in there that don't respect it. And it feels like a recent amount of time that people were able to go down to it the way that we can, because it's been so protected by mountains, and it just seems very like rare in the grand scheme of years of it being there that we're able to go down as easily as we are now. Yeah, I cried, and I was like, this is beautiful, and that water is so beautiful, and I just looked at it, and I just like felt high, like looking at it, and it just felt so magical, and it just like seemed so playful and so happy, like the energy of it. And I watched the way that it would like flow onto the rocks, and it just looked like it was going back and forth on a rock, like swirling, having fun. And it's very interesting as well. I was just thinking about the fact of the water existing and how it's just pure snowmelt and rainwater, and it's just pure nature and nothing's like affecting it, and it's one of the clearest lakes in the world, I believe, so you can see like pretty far down, and that's why it's so blue and so beautiful. And I was just thinking about just it and how it exists, and it felt beautiful, and I just didn't want to leave the water. It was like so magical, and I felt so healed by it. And so after that, I was watching the sunset on a lookout or something after I was done, and I was just crying and crying, and I didn't really understand why, but I just felt so moved by the land and its existence, and I've never felt that connected to nature before. And I was sober. Like, that's an important thing for me to state. I was fucking sober, and I just had such a deep connection to it. And I had a very beautiful experience in Yosemite kind of like that, but I was on a bunch of mushrooms, and this was the first time where I just felt like natural highs from nature itself without anything else like supporting it, and me seeing nature on a deep level without like any other substance connecting me to it. It just felt like I saw it and I felt it, and she felt me immediately. And I started to really respect the land itself, because I had a beautiful moment of just being like, holy shit, I saw the sun just right above the peak of a mountain as it was setting, and I was just like, oh my god, like I just like cried. And I all of a sudden looked down and I read the little like outlook thing that was talking about Native Americans and their perspective, the Klamath tribe, and their story for the mountain exploding because their ancestry witnessed the explosion. And there was a little thing on the bottom that talks about the crawfish spirit that kind of takes people out and throws them out in a way where it's a tale about being respectful of the land. And I feel like that's true of this land, that she will easily weed out people that aren't there for the right reasons and kind of pull in people who are. Because I noticed the day I went, it was clear and there was fires going on in the park, I believe. And the Friday, where everybody's going, like everybody, like all the people, tourists and whatever, who are just there to check out the really cool spot, show up. When I got there, it was super smoky, couldn't really see shit. And so that makes the people who are not there to truly appreciate the land and how she's showing up in that moment to be like, ah. And then boat tours got canceled on one of their like busiest days, I'm assuming. And she just kind of like had all the smoke come through. So like it just kind of would have people go in and then leave who didn't respect the land and who were just like, damn it, I can't take a good selfie, I can't take a good family photo, I don't really care, let's go. And then the same thing I felt with the water itself. It can be very cold, and I noticed a lot of people just like watching me just go straight in, no problem, and they would be like kind of like, what the fuck? And I'm like, yo, like, I don't care that it's cold. It's so healing and so magical. Like, coldness is just like whatever. Like, the power that it brings, I don't give a fuck if it's cold. It's like so magical. I'm hopping in and I'm going to swim in it, and I am going to receive the lessons from her. They are so beautiful and miraculous. I don't care. And yeah, so even with the water itself, like people would like just touch it and like quickly get out because it's too cold. And so in that sense, I can see like the crawfish spirit of like pulling them out, because then they'll just get out. And then also with the hike, getting to the lake itself is super strenuous, so it weeds out people who just can't, like, I mean, like, guess physically can't get down there, like, you know, just like disabled people perhaps, but also the people who like are like, that's too much work, I don't care, I'm not doing it. And it pulls in the people who are willing to put in the work to get down there and visit the water. And yeah, there's just many elements of that. And also with like being rainy and foggy on a Saturday as well, where it was rainy and foggy all day, so it felt like she was just kind of like pushing away like all the people there who didn't care. And it kind of got under my skin when people were like, oh, it's foggy here, like let's go somewhere else, and like just being so disappointed by that. And I'm like, it's literally so magical and so beautiful, and however she's showing up right now is fucking miraculous. Like, appreciate it. It's so fucking beautiful. And I just kept going back and jumping in the water and swimming in it, and I would just have such a beautiful time. And I would like, I just like felt so connected and so healed and held by her. I've never felt so held by Mother Nature in my life, like in that way, where I was just like, she's got me, like she's fucking got me. And I would like kind of do some witchy shit, not really, but just be like, hey, like play with me, like can you do this for me? And then I would just be patient, and then she would. I'd be like, can you like touch my hand? And then eventually like the water would come up and touch my hand. Or it would be like I would be crying on the mountain, and then like a gust of wind would come by and just kind of wipe my tears away from me. And it was just like, it makes me kind of want to cry right now thinking about it. Like, I've never felt so connected to nature, and it was so fucking beautiful. And with me sharing this, I don't want the wrong people to, oh, seriously, like it's so powerful to me. like on the verge of tears. I don't want the wrong people to go to this lake and go for the wrong reasons, just to get the good views, just to like just stare at her and be like, wow, that's cool, okay, bye. And like just not give a fuck. I want me sharing this to bring in the people who are there for the medicine of her, and to go there and to receive her medicine and to see her and to pay attention to the subtleties and feel her on the deep levels that she's able to bring healing. And I feel like I want people who are there for that reason to go there, and also to keep an open mind, because I feel like this could be just my experience, because I feel like different pieces of land will speak to people in different ways because of whatever messages we need to receive from the nature, or whatever. I just feel like it's so unique. Like, I could have this experience and then you could go and you'd be like, that's very nice, and I feel the power of it, but it's not hitting me on the level that it's hitting you. So I don't want you to feel like you must have that experience if you go, because we're all unique and the healing that we need is different for everybody. But yeah, it was so magical. I had such a beautiful time, and a part of me wants to be all logical and like figure out, why did I have such a deep experience there? And I was like, oh, I must have had a past life. I must have been this, whatever. And I don't want to put that label on it. But sometimes I'm like, I feel like that might be it. Because I was just sitting there contemplating, like, there's this like piece of an island that is super small that is a part of the mountain that used to be there. And there's this part of me that, like, when I would look at everything, I'd be like, I can't believe you're just like a place for tourists to come through now. And like feeling like I knew her before she became what she is now. Like, I knew her as the mountain before she became the lake. And I just like was in tears thinking about, this was the only piece that was left of what it used to be. And it was just crazy to contemplate for me. And it could also not even be because it's a past life. It could just be contemplating the magic and the beauty of the land itself. And also like sharing this shit with someone that I met at the festival, and he's like, it doesn't like have to be a past life. It can be just people who have been there and who have a deep connection with the land and their magic that they protect and hold with Mother Nature to keep her alive, and you feeling that. So it's just like trying to be logical. I'm like, I want to make sense of my experience, and I want to like know why, and I want to put it in this category, but it's like at the end of the day, I don't know. It was a beautiful healing experience that I had with Mother Nature herself, and I am so grateful for it. That is what it is at the end of the day. And I noticed in the tale of the Native Americans, this mountain, the volcano, and then Mount Shasta, there was like a connection between the two. So I really wanted to check out Mount Shasta, and I've heard about all the magic there, and it sounds like a very charged place as well. And so I'm excited to go there after receiving the messages from this specific spot. So I always referred to the lake when I was there as Jiwas, because Klamath tribe's name for her is Jiwas, and that feels much more resonant because it means a most sacred place. And it is a most sacred place. Crater Lake is what it is, and it's also the white people's name for it, who saw her beauty but maybe didn't see her essence. But I guess I can't speak for that. But Crater Lake is what it is. It's a lake in a crater. But Jiwas is what it is. Like, it's a sacred fucking place. It's a sacred place, and it should be revered as such. That's why I really resonate with that name more, because I feel like it speaks to more of what she is. Yeah, so that was a really beautiful experience, and I hiked up to one of the waterfalls as well and just had the best time. There's a little marmot that was being a cutie patootie. I have the funniest photos of him, and all the butterflies flying around. It just felt so magical, and everything felt so alive. So many experiences there that I had that were fucking insane and beautiful and so healing, and I just never wanted to leave. If I could live in there, I would. If I die, find me reincarnated there, like, for real. Unless I find another spot on Earth that I love, which is highly likely. But it's just so miraculous. And yeah, so I'm excited to go to Mount Shasta and see the messages that I get there. And I'm also open to keeping no expectations and just know that my experiences are meant to be what my experiences are. So yeah, I'm going to make this a 2-part podcast because I feel like it's disrespectful to my experience that I had in Crater Lake to talk about doing a bunch of drugs at a festival a week later. But there are some elements that connect that story to the festival experience as well, though. There's a few people that I met that kind of make this experience go together, but I'm going to make this a 2-part podcast. So this is the one about my beautiful healing experience with nature, and the next one is going to be about my wild experience at a festival this weekend. So yeah, thank you for tuning in, those of you who are here. I am so grateful for those of you listening, and I feel like there's no coincidence that you were here listening to this, because I felt like it was no coincidence that I experienced something like that, and I feel called to share. So please, if you do go, treat her with utmost respect and honor and reverence. And yeah, thank you for being here. And I trust you, guys. First of all, I trust you. But yeah, thank you for being here. And I'll see you in the next episode if you want to hear about my wild experience. So bye, guys. Thank you. I love you.